computer. It's recording. Good. Make it big. You can see every single imperfection in my face. Share screen, but not this screen. There we go. All right, so guys, what's the biggest number there? So 80 is my max. And what's my smallest number there? 10? And how many classes did I want? So far, so good. Nothing difficult. And so now I'm going to go ahead and find my class width. My class width was going to be equal to max minus min divided by the number of classes. Now, how many classes did I ask you to do? 5. So we got 80 minus 10 divided by 5. So that's 70 divided by 5. What's 70 divided by 5? Wonderful people. How much? 14. And what do we say that to do? We round it up anyways. So we're going to round up anyways. Now, just because I am recording this, if it was 14.1, we still go to 15. If it was 14.5, we still go to 15. If it's 14.9, we still go to 15, right? If it's 15, we're going to do 16. Fair enough? All right. So let's go ahead and do our classes. Then I'll put the numbers in order so we can do our frequency. So what's the first class limit? First lower class limit going to be 10. We don't start at 0. We start at 10. And then how much do we add to it? 15. 10 plus 15? 25 plus 15? 40. 40 plus 15? 55 plus 15? 70. Do we agree or disagree? Does anybody have a question? Now, what's 1 less than 25? And here we have the first upper class limit of the first class. And so now what's 24 plus 15? It should be 39. Or you just remember 1 less than 40. 1 less than 54, 55 is 54. 1 less than 69 is? 670 is 69. What's 69 plus 15 gonna be? 84. Did we cover all the numbers? Yes. Now remember, some of you refuse to accept that you don't have to end up at the 80, for example. You could be beyond. That's why the reason we rounded up is if you tried 14, depending upon the number of classes you have, you might not capture that last number of 80. Does that make sense? Let's say you would have made a mistake and you would have done it with 14. Okay? And so I'll do this here as a hypothetical. Let's say you made the mistake and you would have done it with 14, which makes logical sense. You would start at 10, and 10 plus 14 is what? 24. And 24 plus 14 is what? And 38 plus 14 is what? And 52 plus 14 is what? And so now we have 23, we have 37, 51, 65, and what's 65 plus 14? Did we capture 80? That's why we always round up. Got it? You saw it? For those of you paying attention? Good. All right, can I erase this? Well, it's in the video anyways. Do you guys have access to YouTube? Does anybody here not have access to the internet? Because I know this will happen sometime in December. But my child doesn't have access to the internet. I'm like, what? Why didn't you tell me this like in September? Maybe I could have paid your internet bill for you. Even though I have four mouths to feed. And hopefully a fifth one soon. So, all right. So can we do our frequencies? The answer is yes. But are they in order? No. I gave you the numbers in order for today's quiz, but guess what? Not this time. Not here. Not for the next test. For the next test, it's going to be everything and the numbers are out of order. Do you want to do a stem and leaf plot quickly? Okay, you don't want to talk to me. Fine. I don't want to talk to you either. So I'll just talk to this. What's the smallest number? Okay, you're talking to me. Good. I was going to make a noise, a computer noise. 10. So 1 leaf, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those are our stems. So the first one's going to be 0 here, right? 30, 25, 75, 10, 30, 20, 20, 10, 40. Let me count that I have all those numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 numbers. Wow, that's lovely. I skipped 35 because it was the first one. I don't see it on my thing. All right, so let me go ahead and do this. It was the first number. There. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I got 11 numbers. All right, so we have 50, 40, 30, 60, 70, 25, 40, 10, 60, 20, 80. All right, almost done. Then we have 40, 25, 20, 10, 20, 25, 30, 50, 80, and 20. Now, if I count all these numbers, I should have 32 numbers. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Let me respond to my Shotcrete guy for Friday. Sí, señor. Yes.
The 0 next to the 5 instead of 2.
So where did I mess up? Oh. So when I was doing it, you saw me put it in the wrong spot. If I were taking a test, would I have messed up? What happens if I mess up? I get a lesser grade. All right. How many 10s do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many 20s do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5s. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 30s. I have a 35. Then I have 4 40s. And then I have a 50, 2 50s, 2 60s. The 70, a 75, and 2 80s. I don't like this because now I think I wrote all the numbers, but I'm missing one number, bro. Oh, because it's 2 80s. No, it's all. What happened? It's 10. I see it. Here's the thing on my computer. If I have it like this, you see, that's what happened when I started writing. That's why they didn't line up. All right, whatever. I didn't line it up. Okay, so let's go down. And now we have the numbers there so we can do our thingy. So let's do our counting. Let me make sure it's visible here in the computer. How many 10 to 24 we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11. Yesterday, my daughter peed all over Mrs. Martinez. And she didn't have any extra clothing. So she spent all day with urinated clothing. That's awesome. Can you get a disease when somebody pees on you? What type of disease would you get? I don't know. I will find this out. I'm gonna read it up on Wikipedia. All right, 25 to 39. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 40 to 54. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 55 to 69. 1, 2. 2. 70 to 84. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I add all these numbers up, and this is a mistake right there, that's not good. 11 plus 9 is 20. 20 plus 6 is 26, plus 2 is 28, and 28 plus 4 is? So how many are you feeling good so far? Since that you got an A. Good, good. Now, how do we do our midpoint? We take 10 plus 24 and divide it by 2. So you can't, you calculate, you get 10 plus 24 is what? 34. Now you press equal your calculator, you get the numerator first and you divide it by 2. What is that going to be? Hello, wonderful people. It's 17. So we write 17. Make sense? So I'm going to go ahead and erase that because it's all over this here. Well, that's how we get our midpoint. And our midpoint is something that we could use to represent our class when we make graphs. Now, the next one, you can either just take 17 and add 15 to it, assuming you know that midpoint is correct. And if you add 15 to it, you get 32, and that would be the next midpoint. Or if not, just take 25 plus 39 and divide it by 2. Well, that's going to be 9 plus 5 is 14. Carry the 10 or the 1. And that's going to be 64. And 64 divided by 2 is 32. Yay, nay, maybe, sort of, kind of. Okay. So there we have it. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the rest to just fill in. Plus 15, that's 47. Plus 15, that's 62. Zoom recording. All right, so far so good, right? Looks good. Now, how do we do relative frequency? (11 divided by 32). 11 divided by 32. Yes, you take the frequency divided by a total. It comes out to 0.34375. Let's say we go 2 decimal places. It's going to come out to 0.34. Right? And now the next one's going to be 9 divided by 32. So 9 divided by 32 comes out to 0.28125. So we're going to go 0.28. And then we just kind of continue, you know, 6 divided by 32. That's, I put 9 again. 6 divided by 32. 0.1875. So I'm going to go 0.19. And we'll go 2 divided by 32. That's 0.06. 4 divided by 32. That's 0.13. Simple. Questions or concerns there? Do we check if it adds up to 1? Should we? Let's check. 0.34, oops, 34 plus 0.28 plus 0.19 plus 0.06 plus 0.13. I get 1. Now, not all the time does that happen. Sometimes you get 0.99. Sometimes you get 1.01. And that's okay. It's not okay to get. I saw one kid turn on a quiz today, 9.86 on there. It's like, yo, he messed up. All right, cumulative frequency. By the time we get to 24, we have how much? 11. By the time we get to 39, how many would we have counted? 20, because it would be 11 plus 9. By the time we get to 54, we would have counted how many? 26, because it would be 11 plus 9, which is 20, and 20 plus 6 is 26. Or you could just simply go 20 plus 6 is 26, and then 26 plus 2 is 20, and 28 plus 4 is? Okay. Is this hard? All right, so now let's talk about class boundaries. The way we do class boundaries is our class boundaries is something we use to take care of gaps that we have between the classes. I'll show you what I mean, because you might not understand it right now. And then I'll just wrap it up once I do one graph. So next class, I'll probably present it completely because we ran out of time essentially. So let's say I wanted to graph. I want to make something called a histogram. If I made a histogram of these classes, of this data, a histogram is a type of bar graph. And you can't see it because it's a type of bar graph, but the bars have to touch. The bars have to touch. And the reason they have to touch is because we use histograms to draw out, to represent, to depict quantitative data. And amongst quantitative data, the numbers are continuous, usually. And we want the bars to touch. So if I did my first class, I would have a 10 here and then a 24. And then it says 11. So let's just say this is 10. 11 would be here. But then when I do the next one, 25 would skip 1. And then you have up to 39. And 39 would be 9. So this is 9, this is 11. We have a gap. The bars are not touching. You see? And we did this, we would just have a bar graph. But we want to have a histogram. The bars have to touch. How can I make those bars touch? What's the gap between 24 and 25? How much is the gap? 1. What's half of 1? 0.5. So what if I made 24 and I just said, I'm gonna make 24, 24.5 here. And I'm gonna make 25 and just like kind of make this a little bit wider and this a little bit wider here so they can meet here in the middle. But at the same time, I'll make this guy a little bit wider and this guy a little bit wider, because if I make one side wider and I make the other side wider to keep my class width the same way it was, I would have to make both sides wider. So what I can do is just add and subtract to each side half and the gaps are gone. So what happens is my class boundaries are another way of representing my classes so that the gaps are gone so I can make a histogram. So if I take away 0.5 from 10, I'm at 9.5. But if I add 0.5 to 24, I'm at 24.5. But if I take away 0.5 from 25, now I'm 24.5 here. But then I add 0.5 to 39, and now I'm at 39.5. But then I take away 0.5 from 40, and now this is 39.5. And then I add 0.5 to 54, and now it's 54.5. And I keep on repeating this, and guess what happens to the gaps? They are gone. They are gone. I subtract, and then on the other side, I add. And yes, it looks weird, but guess what? If I take 24.5 and I subtract 9.5, I still get 15. My class width are the same. I didn't change the width between my classes, amongst my classes. They're all the same. Okay? All I did is now the bars will touch. So when I make my histogram, and I guess I can just zoom out a little bit now and pull over here a little bit. Come on, you can do it over here. So now when I make my histogram over here, my first one is 9.5. My second one is 24.5. My third one is 39.5. I don't have to write them double. My fourth one is 54.5. My fifth one is 69.5. And my last one is 84.5. Now, all these lines should be made with the same, like when you, I'm being kind of sloppy here, but they should have the same width. Like that last one is really off. Let me fix it. And so now when I make my first bar, it should go up to 11. And then the next bar, I actually make it a little bit higher. Whatever. I'll make it a little bit higher. But the next one should be what? 9. And do you see now that because I'm using my class boundaries here to graph, the bars don't touch? And the next one's 6. And the next one's 2. There, 2. And the last one's 4. Histogram. But we can also use midpoints. I can also graph this using midpoints. And what I do is I write down my midpoints to represent my classes: 17, 32, 47, 62, and 77. Here's 10. So what I do now is I kind of split this in half here, and I make my first bar. Notice where the midpoint is. In the middle of the bar. This is using midpoints. Where is the 17? It's not perfect in the middle, but whatever. It should be in the middle. So using midpoints, the next one will be 9. So then I kind of go in the middle here and I make my bar like this. Now it's 9. And I'll go to the middle next one. And I go, this is 6. And I go to the middle next one. And this is 2. And I go to the middle over here, imagining, because there's no other point to gauge it from, but I got to make sure that my bars are in the middle when I use class midpoints to represent my class. So these are 2 ways to make histograms. You either use class boundaries, which you create by adding and subtracting 0.5, or you use your class midpoints. In the test, I will tell you what I want you to use. And these are histograms. That's why we did all these graphs. We're representing the data visually. Yay. I pretend to be a teacher today.